joining us today is Jeff Herman, the editor-in-chief at Lawn Starter. Jeff, it's always great to have you back on the Pet Buzz. So soon, of course, but I gotta know, before we get started, are you a cat lover?
I had a cat years ago called Super Cat, and they got his name. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's Super Cat because he jumped all over the place at night.
Active cat, very typical of cats, jumping around at night. So I can envision if you were to make a cartoon character of Super Cat, he'd have a little cape, right?
Absolutely, with a big S on it, like Superman, only Super Cat.
Cool. Okay, so let's meow on this topic a little bit. So how can you determine what are the best and worst cities for cats and cat lovers? What type of protocols or demographics did you use to determine these findings?
We looked at the number of vets per 100,000 residents. We also looked at cat cafes and the number of cat sitting options and those places that are cat friendly, so that if you're staying someplace, to make sure that you could have a cat stay with you. And if you are moving to an apartment complex, to make sure that your cats are going to be welcome there too. So, you want to be someplace where you and your cat are going to be welcome, not someplace where only you're going to be welcome and you have to figure out what are you going to do with your cat.
A lot of people are going to want to know, what is a cat cafe? So can just give us a little fill-in about that.
You can go and have your sandwich or, pastry and coffee. And at the same time, it's surrounded by cats. You can watch them play. You can watch them climb these, big cat toys, big cat tree houses and everything within the building. So it's entertaining as well as eating your food or drinking your coffee. It's a great way to be able to engage with cats. And heck, if you want to take one home, you might be able to adopt one while you're there too.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's great about a cat cafe. There's one in New York and they sell macarons. So I love them. So they're great. And the owner of the cat cafe, she makes them in the back and they have little cat faces on them. So next time I'm there, I might have to get some Super Cat ones. Okay. So talk to me about the 5 best and the 5 worst cities for cats and their people.
Well, number 1 was Orlando, Florida. Number 2 was Lakewood, Colorado. Cary, North Carolina was number 3. Tempe, Arizona, number 4. And Fort Collins, Colorado came in at number 5.
That's an interesting demographic, right? I mean, just when you think about it, East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast.
Absolutely a big mix, but I was surprised by Florida, except when you look at Orlando, it has more cat sitters than any place else. It also has the most cat friendly places too. So if you're staying in that sort of thing, you have plenty of places to stay with your cat while you're visiting the big mouse, I guess.
I'm just thinking about, cats. I mean, we don't usually think of cats going out or people traveling with cats. Although I did have a boyfriend once and his mom traveled with their cat for business, but there are cats and dog shows every weekend in this country. So those people have to stay somewhere, right?
Absolutely. And then there's also the strange story of my coworker, Brenda, who was visiting me in Dallas, Fort Worth. She was traveling with a cat. It was too hot, so they didn't want to leave the cat in the vehicle and they wanted to eat at Olive Garden. So they had a drapery over the cat crate as if it was a present they were bringing to me, and they put the cat underneath the table. I was so afraid we were going to get arrested in Olive Garden because we had a cat underneath the table. So it makes for one of those incredibly memorable stories, but it just highlights also traveling with cats can be a bit of a challenge.
Absolutely. And thank goodness the cat didn't start crying and meowing or actually urinating in the little cat carrier or cage. I mean, what? Now, I'm just going to say, I don't advise you people to do this in your own like little locale. I mean, these are stories from the past. I mean, wow, you're lucky. I can see it now. Jeff Herman, Lawn Starter, getting carried away for sneaking a cat into a restaurant. Okay.
Right. Olive Garden's not a cat cafe. Olive Garden's just not a cat cafe. Right. So, it really wasn't the right place for that.
No. And, just to remind everybody, really at these restaurants, you've got to bring in qualified service dogs. That's all I'll say on the topic, because I can't say I haven't snuck my cat or my dog in a lot of places, including hospitals. Okay. That's a whole other story. Okay. Worst cities. What are the worst cities?
Worst cities, San Francisco at number 5, Detroit at number 4, Brownsville, Texas at number 3, Honolulu at number 2, and New York City at number 1.
Wow. I mean, New York has so many cats. but I guess not enough cat veterinarians, not enough places you could take them. There's like a few cafes, maybe two, right?
Absolutely. And that is, in fact, why New York finished at the bottom. It is so big, and there's just not enough vets, not enough, services for those cat owners per 100,000 residents when you consider that compared to a smaller type city that has more amenities per 100,000 residents for
Sure.
cat lovers.
Now, I will say I lived in New York City. There's some great feline veterinarians. So, but the problem is, a lot of that concentration is in Manhattan, in Soho, down in Tribeca. And I mean, I remember once counting pet stores, veterinarians between the hoity-toity neighborhood. So we'll say the Upper East Side from like, let's say 50th, 59th Street up to 80th Street, or like maybe a little lower, 42nd Street. There were like 30 pet stores, veterinarians, and basically a 40 block radius. And it
Wow.
was, I mean, that's just the Upper East Side. There are less on the Upper West Side. And we love our pets. So we want to be able to go to a vet. We want to be able to go shopping. Okay. So were you surprised that Orlando was ranked number one? I mean, or that New York City was like, I don't know, you guys said it, the litter box. Were you
Right.
surprised? I like that. It was funny.
Yeah, I was surprised that New York City wasn't higher in the list, because you think that there are so many people living in apartments that cats are very friendly for apartments.
Mm-hmm.
So you would think that there would be more there. In Orlando, just because it's, a place where people are visiting all the time, I would have thought that maybe cats wouldn't have been so popular as a pet choice down there. But at the same time, Jordan, who wrote this piece, she's from Pensacola, and you can see it. She just loves her cats, and it comes through. So Florida may be a great place to have cats. I know that Pensacola and Jordan, they go great together with their cats.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I'm so happy living in Florida now that we ranked in the dog park cities, and now we're ranking in the cat cities. The other thing I thought was really interesting, there are a lot of pet friendly or cat friendly California cities. What's up with that?
With the California cities, they seem to have a little bit more amenities all the way around for their cats. They have more percentage of veterinarians per 100,000 residents. They also have more cat cafes, and they have some of those like more cat friendly places to live.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's maybe on the West Coast thing. We were looking at possibly moving to Las Vegas next year, and an apartment complex we really liked, until we realized we couldn't take Bobo with us. They accept cats only. They don't accept dogs.
I think these surveys are really interesting because it just gives you an idea of some of the things you need to think of when you are moving across the country, especially if you're a pet owner, right?
Absolutely. You want to make sure that you have a place that is friendly for not only you, but for the pet that you love. And then, let me end with a crazy story that you have to think about what to do with your cat. So Super Cat's ashes are with my mom's ashes, because that's what mom wanted. You do what mom wants for wishes, but a cat's ashes and human ashes seems pretty strange, but you do what mama wants.
Isn't it great how we feel about our pets that so much? We love them so much. We want them to be with us now and also in the afterlife.
They're a part of our life, and you don't want to leave them, behind. If you're going someplace, you kind of want to believe that they're going with you too. So, all dogs go to heaven, all cats go to heaven, same sort of thing. You want to make sure that they're with you. And if that means taking them along with you with your ashes, I guess that makes sense too.
Thanks for viewing our content on Pet Buzz Plus.